If you have ever wondered why Gen Z, some of the younger millennials, and others seem to crave a type of tyranny, an authoritarianism, and an us versus them mentality, buckle up your seatbelt, because here we go. The first thing I would recommend to you is a book called The Coddling of the American Mind. It's from 2018, and I believe it's by Greg Lukianoff and Jonathan Haidt. This explains nearly everything that you're wondering. So let's take a look at why college-age leftist young people seem to have crippling anxiety and crave this weird concept. First of all, most of them come from a background where they were never allowed to really take risks. The culture we are currently in constantly tells them to be weak, to be victims, and to be fragile. And at the same time, it's telling them that if there's any trauma that they encounter in their life, it's going to make everything even worse for them, because those that are in elite positions want control over as many people as possible. The easiest way is to make an entire generation weak. And this has created in young people the craving for totalitarian authority, which is why they push for wokeness. They're encouraged that they're constantly being persecuted. That's why they're victims. Unfortunately, if your psyche is soft enough and not resilient enough, you will have delusions that everything that you're seeing, which we would call cognitive confirmation bias, they would believe that they're being persecuted. Believe it or not, this falls in a category in psychology called persecutory delusions. And the reason why it falls into the delusion category is that they believe that they're being victimized, they're being harmed, or even just threatened by others, even when there is no actual evidence. This makes them crave a leader that caters to what they believe is important, and they do it in an authoritarian manner. This is why they'll burn down cities. This is why they'll loot. This is why they'll destroy cars. They will destroy homes. They will relentlessly take things and break things that don't belong to them, because they feel that they deserve these things because the authoritarian leadership they follow tells them so. Another thing is, the more that they believe that their social identity, economic security, or even their way of life is under threat, they will turn towards leaders that promise them all the things they're looking for, along with stability and protection and lots of free stuff if they can just get their agenda pushed and they won't have to work for things. Some of this can come from a traumatic childhood where there's absentee parents or some type of a figure in their life that did not give them what they needed by way of structure, but most of it falls under groupthink and tribalism. The biggest problem here is that they have what is called learned helplessness. This is where a person truly believes in their brain that they have no control over anything. Everything is happening to them. They don't have any internal locus of control. The locus of control in their life is external. So they feel they live in a very difficult situation. The world is going to end through climate change. There's not enough fairness. Everyone's a racist. Everyone is a bigot. Everyone is a Nazi. Everyone is a fascist. And when I say everyone, I'm talking about anyone who doesn't agree with them. This is not always specific to politics, but it does show why they look for a powerful movement to protect them. This, of course, leads to political polarization, like I went over in a couple other videos. And unfortunately, they'll even indulge in what's called tyrannical sadism. This is a pathological craving and abuse of power through intimidation. This is also why you will hear about trigger warnings, microaggressions, and anything that might even slightly be perceived as coming against their ideology. This can lead to violence, and it even leads to deplatforming. All of us know about this, especially with the 4 years under Joe Biden. In the final analysis, unfortunately, people that are in this ideology many times will have emotional dysregulation. They'll have a decreased ability to deal with individual problems. And that's why we see an uptick, and I mean a massive one, in anxiety and depression. This is why you see that 7 out of 10 people within this age cohort claim to have depression or anxiety or the need for therapy, or they're on some sort of an SSRI. So as long as they're promised free stuff if they just toe the line, and as long as they are continually allowed to be feeling like victims, and as long as no one ever challenges when they say things that aren't true, then they're living in their own echo chamber. No one will ever challenge them, and this will continue until, what I've said in a couple other videos, this leads to some sort of a civil war.
Do you really think you have a chance against us, Mr. Cowboy?
Yippee-ki-yay, mother...